X1.
Hello everybody, Reaper X1 here, back out and about in Terra 0.6. Once again in R&D, working on that monster that I've been trying to finish for the last few episodes. In this episode, I'm starting on the turret itself. And this seems to be the best way to get something to spin, in my opinion. I've been using this idea on a few things. If you've seen my elevated track, it's the same idea I used for the turntables on switching from track to track. There will be an updated video of that coming soon. I just gotta get something set up first and have to go from there. And as always, size that I tend to work in. Need lots of wheels, lots of support. The hard part is when you're trying to make something kind of roundish, is kind of keeping it even so nothing works against itself. You end up getting left working against right if you get the wheels in the wrong spots and that. Seems like anyway. I don't know if I'm 100% on that, but just from the playing around I've done, that's what I think. That's usually the hardest part of a new piece even, is just get the general feel for the shape and that I need. But seeing as I am kind of copying something in existence, it helps. Basic tank design, stick with that. There's a reason that they use it. It's been figured out and tested and it's effective. That's just funny. Get going. You can tell from the speed that this wasn't lagging too much right there. Actually, it was running really nice. I knew I'd get a chuckle out of it when I got it sped up and see how fast it goes. Yeah, by this point I got a really good idea what this is going to look like when it's done. I can pretty much see it in my head 100% now. I'm pretty sure I get it wrapped up in this video, so we'll just have to wait and see what it looks like. Or you'll have to wait and see. I know, I built the thing. I really wish that armor could be a true black, like the blocks were. I'm just curious as if it would look better. Sometimes it wouldn't, but this one it might, just because of the way the colors are going together. But it does give it that nice striped look. So, I don't know, works though. I'm really hoping putting those batteries there isn't a mistake for my overall idea. The basic thing I'm trying to do here is I'm going to see if I can put a brain right in the middle there. This is actually called think tank when it's done. And then the batteries, I'm hoping they don't attract the remote chargers. Instead of to the one, like, I want the remote chargers to charge one specific battery that's going to be up in the top, so it looks like the electricity's wrapping around the brain. I'm hoping it might go straight through the block, so that might not work, but we'll find out. I haven't got it completely tested out as to know that yet. That'll be the next video, I believe, where I put it into the game. Yeah, I know I said before I hadn't found the blocks to build it in the game, and that's why I'm in the R&D, and so that's why I'll have to use an edited save that I got to get this in the game quicker. Now I just don't want to wait. But it will be in a separate save, so I don't have to worry about losing my real progress. So if I do want to continue with it, I can just start that one back up. And so I usually keep backups of my better saves, especially ones where I do something kind of neat in them. I think that's just kind of neat. It's always a good idea to have backup, especially for a game that's in early access, because it has known issues, so why not? I keep backups of the actual game files, the actual updates, each version, just in case. I had problems with my internet, so now if it happens and I don't have my internet, well, I can hook it up, run it, play it. I don't get my hours counted on Steam or nothing, but that really doesn't matter too much. I get to enjoy the game still, that's what I worry about. Yeah, this part of the build usually kind of slows me down a little bit, just making sure everything's proportionate and on the same layers and spacing and all that. As you can see, it's starting to take shape, and you can probably just imagine what I got envisioned, but you now know where the brain's going. I think the hardest part was figuring out what I wanted to do with that barrel on the gun. It doesn't really leave me lots of room to get super creative with that setup. And I didn't want to go too light on it, like use GSO or Venture Block. I don't want 2 shots and then no barrel on the thing. Really throw the balance out of my turntable. But I think one thing I may have forgot to do is put shielding on that, now that I think back. Huh. I'll have to look into that. Well, like I said, there's probably at least one more video with this, so if I have to, it'll be final touches and tweaks, and then we'll put her in the main game and see how it handles some of the terrain. If it will. I don't know, it's going to be slow. It was lagging fairly decent in the R&D here, so I can imagine it will do the same, if not worse, in the actual game itself, so we'll see what happens. Never hurts to try, unless you're trying to jump off a building and survive. That could hurt. It's within reason, I guess. Yeah, I know, it looks like I put one in the wrong spot, which I did, but I didn't know that until after I placed it. Sometimes that's what happens. A little corner block on the front there by the barrel, I put it in the wrong spot and I didn't even think of it until I was 2 more blocks down the road. I don't know, little things stand out and I remember them sometimes. And see right here. Yeah, that don't look right. What's going on? There it is. Yeah, I have to fix little stuff like that all the time. I get ahead of myself and That is a small percentage of the time I take when building these things, but when they're that big, it's kind of hard sometimes to keep them symmetrical when they should be, or they need to be, just for balance, mainly in the flyers. But this I wanted nice symmetry and had to be balanced because it is a pivot point idea with the wheels and the turntable there. Actually worked out pretty good. Didn't even realize that was coming up. Starting to look a little better for the barrel there. I even kind of like the yellow down the side. I was thinking of trying to hide it all, but I don't know. Kind of looks neat. I figured that was about the best way of making it look like it had like the barrel tip, where it has, I don't know what it's really called, but usually has holes in the side and you see the muzzle flash go out the sides and everything. I figured this was about the best and close way I could do it and have it effective. Other than that, this turret really is just for show. The main body of the tech is supposed to do the brunt of the work. So I'm not sure though, there could be a couple spots I can add some guns here and there, but I gotta get the pieces together and see what's gonna fit where and still allow it to turn. See what I might have to change, and just little things really, but yep, and back to some more wheels. I noticed it was pretty sluggish. Ideally, I would like that to have it able to turn like it did originally when I first started, with it being really light. There you are, a couple shots. I don't know, I think that looks not too shabby. But I don't think that's really possible when you get to these sizes. Not with the wheels we have, they're only meant to do so much. With my space restrictions, that doesn't allow me to use them, enough of them in the right way. Now getting into a little bit of brain work here, a little surgery if you will. Get this cranium cracked. And back into the layers. Now, I'm not sure why, but I was having a harder time keeping the pink like in line, knowing like placing blocks right on the pink, I guess, than I did on the black, which is kind of odd. I might have been tired. It's been one of those weeks. Yeah, it really flies along there. Like a crazy fast game of Tetris almost. Just the way it built in like that. I think that was the problem though, is I filled it all in right away, and then if you don't get the right angle on it, it's hard to notice. Yep, yeah, boo-boo there. Oh, I guess I kept them the same though. Yeah, basically just looking for shadows at this point. So it's starting to look like a bit of a dome-shaped brain, I guess. Got this odd hole in his head right now, though. Now, this won't do it too much justice as far as its appearance. It just gives it a basic base, a color and a shape. It's not really intended to be too impressively visual. It's a combination of everything that tends to work out good for these type of things. The little things. Oh yeah, I forgot I got into that first. Yeah, you have to have some way of getting it on top of the other tech. This is about the route I usually use. If it's allowed. Or available. Some of my stuff, yeah, I get real weird with the bases. Just get around the base of the other bigger bottom tech or whatever it may be. So now we got the big guy back in here. I think this was the test pit. Got a little pack of parts there on the back. A battery and the brackets there. That's for when I go to join them. And I got my parts there because, well, you gotta get underneath it and then be up through the middle by the time you before you can drop the other one. Well, you'll see here in a couple minutes. A little bit of setup needed. Save things just in case things go weird and check it. Like I said in my other video there, in these bigger ones, they tend to have the odd issue here and there where saves don't work right. Always save your tech. Should always test it by pause, restart, see if it shows up, and then go back, resume game, don't quit. Then go to the terminal, where the store, plant one of them, see if you can buy your tech. Because in the past I've had techs that I can load to the R&D, but I can't buy and get into the main game. And the four that kind of bother me are four of my biggest and best. I can't even get them into the main game. Kind of bummed me out for a while. They're supposed to go into my, I don't know how to call it, my setup world. My Reaper's Madness world that I wanted to build up and have nice little surprises for everyone to find and maybe battle if I could figure out how to set text to enemies. I can bring things in neutrally, but that's not really too action-packed. You get to find a lot of neat stuff, I guess, if you drive far enough. But I need a few more things in there first, and then I'm gonna look to saving it on the forums and, well, wherever I can. I could even maybe post something under my videos on YouTube for people to try. That'd be a good way to let people try it if they want. That's something I've wanted to do for a while though, but just getting the text built, it takes a long time. And things aren't quite figured out for the game either, so they don't really handle that kind of builds. So it makes it a little tough. I don't want to share something that if they find the first thing that's even remotely cool, one of the smaller monster techs, or the computer blows up or something. Because mine was lagging like crazy when I did it. So I'm kind of waiting for optimizations, and then I still building all the techs. Because I could see this think tank tech down here working on. It could end up in that world. It might be one that you have to fight after you build so big, or maybe it could take over its own biome and you gotta invade its biome and take it out. Have it in the grasslands or salt flats. Grasslands would be good because then there's resources all over. At least then you both get charged. Gives everybody a little better chance. You're not running on battery power. Huh. Something to think about. Well, them's my ideas for that anyway. I got a few ideas to help me speed up building the parts for that world. So I'm going to get at them as soon as I can, but gotta get this tech done and just kind of waiting for my next new game. And then I think I'm going to start my epic adventure. Just one that I'm going to try and keep alive and just keep building it through all the new updates that come. I'll still do my normal restart with each new update, but I'll always go back to that after the basics are covered. I do all the missions in the newest update, and I always start over new for that, and then I go back and do whatever I really wanted to do. And I like to see the changes, and then, well, you gotta finish what you started if you can. Some of mine I don't have that option, so when I can finish something, oh, it just delightens me to be able to. Like this guy, I'm pretty sure I got him in a size range that should be easily finishable and somewhat enjoyable to use, so it's going to be a little slow and then shoot the guns and wait a minute kind of thing, but it'll be interesting. Just driving around might be alright. I just want to see what kind of enemies it brings in for me. That's another thing I've been wondering, is if your enemies are based on the size of your tech that you're driving, and if I'm driving this where it's two techs put together, is the enemy adjusted because I have basically a follower? Because there will be AI on each part, or on the turret anyway. I don't know if I want to put AI on the base. So when I go to switch to the turret, if I ever do that, my tank bot might just take off on its own. And when they're laggy like this, you can't really switch back and forth that good anyway right yet. I've heard of a better system coming for switching between techs, but it's one of those features that we're waiting on, and just trying to be patient for. I think that's the best you can really do anyway. Get all worked up and crazy about it, but what good does that do? Just piss you off and ruin your day. So instead I build. And I build big. Cause you gotta have fun with it. See, here's the fine details I was telling you about that kind of just make it look more convincing. Gotta have some lines in it, it's a brain. Nothing but angled brackets on there if I remember correctly. I didn't use one other bracket. It just all kind of just worked out nice. Some of it was a lot of luck. Just time, noticed the wrong position at the right time, or it would have went just squirrely on me. And being out that far, it made it hard. We really need to be able to zoom in better on these things when they're big. Like, I don't know if it's just me or not, but I've been playing this a hell of a long time, and I still have a hard time with that. Maybe I need glasses or something, I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, excuse me. I don't think so, but... So, alright, here's the coming together of the two pieces. It's a little tricky, and you might notice I changed my rack, or the base around a little bit on the turret, because I noticed that I didn't have enough room to get over it. So, I didn't record that because it was kind of just slow pace nonsense, really. Not very interesting. Something you've seen before, just with a couple more pieces in it. This was a pain in the anus. I tell you, I couldn't believe it. Got hung up on the smallest little edge in there. I don't know if it's too noticeable from the video right here. But yeah, it turns out it was just a corner of one of those angle blocks in the middle that was holding me up. I actually forgot I was gonna remove this little bit just to save a few seconds, but one of those things that slipped my mind. And originally I had batteries up the middle. It would have been even tighter fit. Harder to put the thing on there. So I'm glad I went this route. Yeah, just couldn't get her to bounce over there. But when you build things like this, you kind of gotta be able to work with these type of things and hope it can work with you. Other than that, it gets frustrating as all hell. If I remember correctly, I had a few choice profanities I used in that little spot there, just trying to get things lined up. And there we are. So I think that's not too shabby. Knock the top off for there. See, with the battery there, it's nice and round. It's the perfect thing for that. I'm just hoping those wireless chargers charged it, not any of the other batteries that are in this thing. They should be closest. All my other batteries on the bottom tech are way down low. Well, I guess no, they're kind of right underneath it, but a little farther in distance away. So we'll have to wait and see what it does. This is where it got a little weird. I don't know if you noticed, I'm actually trying to drive forward full out. And this thing isn't sluggish. It's like I hit an invisible wall here. It just boxed right in. I have no idea what was happening there. See, it's not hitting nothing. All the shots are going well out of the way, but I could not get out. Now, I don't know, maybe there's something underneath me that I had anchored or something, but not for the life of me could I find it. Like there, it doesn't look like anything in my way. So yeah, just stuck. I've had this happen once before, and I think it has something to do with the two techs being on each other, because you can see the one that's kind of reacting to the movement, tipping up and down. But as far as getting out of that box, I don't know what the heck happened. Because normally to drive, I would have been all the way back to the dispensers probably by now. This thing moves. It's got enough wheels under it to keep her mobile. I guess English is my first language. I should use it. First only language. It's the only one I'm decent with. Yeah, but it does function so far, from what I can test, the way I'd hope. The tank or the turret will turn, the tank does drive, but you put them together and they seem to have some issues right now. But till next time, have a good one. Bye.